Good morning and welcome to day 15. Here we are in lovely Priddy, or should I say pretty. Had a night at Eber Hill Farm, bed and breakfast, treated myself to a bed and breakfast, and I feel fully refreshed. So let's have a little recap and just see where I've been. Dipped our toe into the sea at Dover, sandling to Ashford to Hecorn to Yalding to Seven Oaks to Otford, or was that round the other way? Otford to South Nutfield to West Dorking to Chilworth to Winchester. Have I missed a place out there? Winchester on to crikey, I've only just walked this as well. Winchester to, I might have to look this one up. North Dinton, wasn't it? North Dinton-ish to Eggford. It was actually Villas, hence Villas Veg is where we stayed in a campsite. Villas Veg to Priddy, and Priddy is where we are right now. And finally, Priddy to Weston-super-Mare. My route today will take me mainly downhill, so I'll put up on screen the route that I was going to do, but note the elevation, and I'm likely missing out on some really beautiful spots, but like I say, after yesterday it felt like quite a lot of pain to be putting up with if I was travelling home with that. It was quite nice to be able to get to a bed and breakfast last night and just flake out essentially. Everything was at arm's reach and I didn't really need to go anywhere. But as I'm going to be needing to walk across London and things like that later, getting to Weston-super-Mare isn't really the end of my day, so I need to reserve something for later. But I would say come to the Mendip Hills. So Surrey Hills, big tick. Mendip Hills, really big tick. Honestly, absolutely stunning. And anyone who's been to Wookey Hole, where I walked through yesterday, incidentally, the little village that I was talking about yesterday, that was Wookey Hole. I don't know where my head was yesterday, but it clearly wasn't in the right place. In any case, look at the glorious day that we've got. Sun is shining, birds are tweeting. Yes, I'm on a road, but that's all going to change shortly. And I couldn't really want for anything else. It's just happy days, isn't it? And there's a sign there that says footpath. That'll be me. So I thought I'd have a little recap on what it is that I've done and some of the pros and cons for what I've been doing as I've travelled across the country. Because obviously up until Winchester that was section hiking, and then it was through hiking after that, and both have very distinct benefits. The through hiking just feels like I'm out on the trail, and it just feels like a journey. It feels like a bigger thing, and I feel a bit more at peace with it, to be honest. I feel like being out here every day, you get up in the morning, you're going to be walking on a trail, and that feels right to me. It feels good. That's where I think that's personal preference, and it's certainly where my heart is, I think. The section hiking, however, the benefits of that the fact that you've got your home comforts, you travel very, very light. You're home every day, shower, eat, change, do whatever you do, plan for your next day. But I don't know, it just took some of the, I don't know what it is. It took a feeling away, and I'm not sure what that feeling is. But it's to be out on the trail through hiking. It's a different animal. Through hiking versus section hiking. For me, through hiking wins. Just because, and dare I say, it's a spiritual type of thing. I just love I don't know, I feel more like, I'm really thinking about this, aren't I? I feel like I'm more in tune with the world that I live in, and I live amongst it rather than consuming it. I think that's probably it. You know, it's given me something every single day, and all I'm doing is walking across it. Yeah, it's a nice feeling, which I kind of get with section hiking. Just not, you know, I think with section hiking you're always rushing for a train, and isn't that our lives in a nutshell? Rushing to do something, rushing to get home for the kids, rushing to get to work, rushing for that deadline, something needs doing, the car needs to be taken for an MOT, all sorts. We never get a chance just to be. And after my little health scare in December, I'm glad that I've taken some time out just to re-engage with what really counts. But I just wanted to show you the view. Check it out. Look at that over there. I can see the sea just over there on the distant horizon. I can see Weston-super-Mare. So I've walked from one side of the country to the other. It's pretty epic, isn't it? Right, sorry about that. I just had to run across that field there because the farmer was just shepherding the cows into the field that I was in, and I know that I've become quite an attractive proposition for cattle this morning already. I got mock charged earlier. If that doesn't put a little spring in your step, nothing will. Rather, the farmer caught up with me and we just swapped tales, and you know, obviously he liked to know what I was up to, and you know, we got chatting. Anyway, I'll stop here a second because otherwise it's going to go out of sight. There's a reservoir just here. That's where he grew up. So he grew up there, and then he flew off to New Zealand in his teenage years. And as I pan around, I'll tell you that he met somebody in New Zealand, and he went travelling, and they got together, then split up, got together, then split up. Then they found themselves thinking, oh, we keep crossing paths, let's stay together. And then they married, and they now live there. And he owns a farm which covers all of this land up here. He wasn't given the farm. He worked for it as a plasterer and a builder. He said every time he got a piece of money, or a bit of money, he bought a piece of land. and now he's living the life of a farmer. And even in his words, well, the way he put it was, I'm glad not many people like the countryside. It's always about now that I've got mixed emotions about finishing up, because I'm tired, I hurt, my feet are bruised. On paper I should be hating it, but the reality is I absolutely love being out on the trail, and so it's tinged with sadness that it's all got to finish, it's all got to end. But there's other trails. I think when I finished Land's End to John O'Groats, I didn't really expect the post-trail blues. And they hit me like a brick. I'll see if I can find the picture I took of myself, because I found myself sitting on a tube, sitting at a tube stop after doing Land's End to John O'Groats. I was still working. Luckily I'd managed to get a lot of holiday all in one go, and took some time off unpaid so that I could do the trip. So the company were really great for letting me do that. But the picture shows I was sat at a tube stop, and I just felt really sad. I felt really sad, and I just thought, don't move, don't change your facial expression, just take your camera out and take a picture of yourself. See? Do I look sad? Well, you tell me. Oh dear. So that was me after I came back off of Land's End to John O'Groats. So I really didn't expect the post-trails blues, whereas now I kind of expect them to a degree, and you just got to start looking at the next one, the next trail, the next thing. It can't be just done, finished, never to do again. So it's not over. So we've made our way off the top of the Mendips down into Cheddar. I'm wearing my hat at a jaunty angle to stop the sun, and now into a little place called Axbridge, historic Axbridge. I'm losing my voice, and we've got a lot of road walking now, and like I said before, if I had the time I would have, there's that thing again, isn't it? I haven't got the time to do that. Anyway, if I had the time I would have gone up into the hills, which are that way. But check it out, look at historic Axbridge. This is, what a lovely little place. Only open until 2:50. That can't be right. So I've just climbed roughly 100 foot straight up to get away from the road for a second. Check out this view. I'm going to be going down here to duck back down onto the roads again, but isn't this absolutely fabulous? And you can see there's a reservoir, just about see it there. We were up on top of the hills. Just behind that So now we're looking down on the other side. So that's where I was talking to the farmer up over here. So I've just been cavorting in the hills that you can see behind me, and they are fun. I like that. Thing is with hills, you don't keep going up and down, up and down, up and down. You get so far and then you'll find the footpath goes around, because us humans, we're not that silly. So yeah, look at the scenery, absolutely wonderful. And now we're heading over this sort of way, and because I can't see any easy way other than over the top, I have a feeling I have some climbing to do. The other thing is, I checked the train times, and true to form, the trains are being, or have potential to be, a bit of a nightmare. So here's my thoughts about using public transport. I think it is environmentally a great thing. I think one gas guzzler each doesn't really make sense, it's not sustainable, and yet we're doing it. However, if there's to be an alternative, it's got to be easier than what it is at the moment. The amount of planning that I've had to do, the amount of tickets, and there's all sorts of different variables that people are just not going to persist with it. Yeah, so I think if we're expected as a population to use public transport, something's got to change. But that's just my own take on it, and I'd say this is a pretty real world test. One good thing that I did find was a app called TrainPal, and I highly recommend that, because what that does is it splits your tickets up. So one journey might be vastly cheaper if the tickets are split. So instead of you having to go through and check all of that, TrainPal does it all for you, and your tickets suddenly become a whole heap cheaper. And by a lot cheaper, I mean a normal ticket to Winchester from where I live, 60 odd quid I think it was. TrainPal, 25. So yeah, there are savings to be had. Down in sunny Somerset. I mean, what's not to like about this? It's absolutely beautiful. The dunes are just extraordinary, and who needs to hear anything anyway? Okay, I thought this road was going to just take a turn across fields over here somewhere, but clearly it's not. So knowing that we're going to be getting into Weston-super-Mare any moment really, I think got about an hour and a half. It's absolutely roasting. Okay, slight issue. Last night I was absolutely exhausted, and I was looking at ways to shorten my route by cutting out all the meandering, and I've definitely cut out a lot of the meandering. However, I navigated to the wrong place, and I'll put up on screen how I managed that. I didn't check it, it's my own fault. I did things super quick last night and just pushed it to my watch. So I've literally just been following this red line to the wrong place. So now I've got I think 6 kilometers, whereas I thought I'd finished. I had to save it to the last day, didn't I? I had to save it to the last day. Now I'm really in a rush because trains are on strike tomorrow, and there's absolutely no way I can miss my train, because the last one is the last one. I'll be stuck here for days if I don't get that train, so I might be running. Oh, couldn't make it up. Couldn't make this up. Honestly, you could not make this up. So, I have arrived at Weston-super-Mare. The idea was for me to dip a toe in the sea, but I don't have the time to get to the sea and back and make my train. So you're gonna have to just accept that me walking on this beach is the end of Dover to Weston-super-Mare. And if you want my advice, don't follow my path. Oh dear. This will all be written up in the blog, so please do go across and have a read of that. This has been your roving reporter, Damon Walker, the long distance walker, signing off. Unbelievable, Jeff.